to us is side PQ is congruent to side RS. So let's write that as our statement. PQ congruent to RS. And our reason they give that to us, so it's given. And then we're going to come up and make sure that we mark it in our triangle. So we had side PQ congruent to side RS. And then we're going to come back to our given information again, and they tell us that angle PQS is congruent to angle RSQ. So we're going to make a statement that says that, copy it exactly as it's written, angle PQS congruent to angle RSQ. And our reason for that again is that it was given to us. Now we've got to figure out which two angles that they're talking about. And this is one of those times when I suggest you use your highlighter to help you see which angle is which. So angle PQS, we're going to start with our pen on P, and we're going to follow the letters in order. So from P to Q to S. So I have highlighted two sides, and where those two sides come together, that is the angle that they are talking about. So that angle is congruent. And then we're going to come over and do the other angle, angle RSQ. So we're going to start on R and go from R to S up to Q. So now I've highlighted these two sides that they are congruent, and so I'm going to mark this angle at S as the angle that they were talking about. Okay. So right now I just have two pieces of information, but remember that we need three. So again, we're going to use this shared side in the middle, and since we marked it, we have to come down here and add a statement for it. So that is side QS congruent to side QS. We already used this property in our last proof, and that's our reflexive property. Now, if we cover up one of our triangles, in this triangle we have a side and an angle and a side. And in this triangle we have a side, an angle, and a side. So we can conclude that our triangles are congruent. So step 4 is going to show that our triangles are congruent. We have to be careful at this point to make sure that we name our triangles in the correct order. So I often like to add in what I would know as another triangle piece that's congruent. So I know that in this triangle, angle P is going to be congruent to angle R, and that's going to help me make sure I name my angles in the correct order. So I'm going to start with that angle P, and then I'm going to go to the other angle that we have marked, which is angle Q, and then our third angle would be angle S. So a triangle PQS is congruent to triangle. Since I started with P over here, I have to use the angle that's congruent to P to start with in the other triangle. So we know that angle R is congruent to P. And then I went to Q, and in this triangle, S is congruent to Q, so I have to go with S next. And then we're going to finish off with Q as our last angle in that triangle. And we already said that our reason for knowing that those triangles were congruent was side, angle, side, so we can just finish that off.